Hi, this is Erica Smith, and this is my PowerPoint presentation on problem-based learning. What is problem-based learning? It derives from John Dewey's constructivist theory, which basically says that knowledge is constructed through experience, and that's exactly what problem-based learning does. It gives students the opportunity to identify problems, raise questions about those problems, and find solutions. And for Burrell, he defined it as an inquiry process that resolves questions, curiosities, doubts, and uncertainties about complex phenomena in life. He also said it challenges students to become deeply involved in a quest for knowledge. That happens through questioning and searching for answers to those questions. This is the main part of problem-based learning, questioning. The great thing about problem-based learning is that there is no wrong answer. Each good group could arrive at a different conclusion, which allows the students to see the solution from multiple perspectives. It promotes the use of higher level thinking skills such as critical thinking, inquiry strategies, reflecting on practice, self-direction, transfer information and concepts across disciplines, making it interdisciplinary and into life, and increases the retention of knowledge. There are several elements of problem-based learning. There's the problem statement, various student roles, raising questions through analysis of the problem, collaborative group investigation, critical analysis of findings, drawing conclusions, and sharing those findings, which is done in the form of a presentation. Students and or the teachers also create various types of assessments that are authentic, both informal and formal. What role does inquiry play in problem-based learning? Well, it is the center of problem-based learning because the questioning is what drives the research. It's what determines the path that the research takes. So there are two major problem-based learning strategies. The first is KWHLAQ. K, what we already know. W, what we want or need to know. H, how and where do the students plan to search for answers and how will they organize the investigation? L, what's been learned and what's expected to be learned? A, how will the learning be applied both in and out of the classroom? And Q, raising new questions. The second is OTQ. The O is for observing and gathering information. T is thinking reflectively, which is to analyze the information gathered and relate it to what's already known. And Q is questioning. Ideally, students should be engaging in these strategies weekly. In the video by John Spencer, he said students need to feel empowered to solve real-world problems. This empowerment is created according to the classroom environment. It is important to establish a classroom environment that welcomes and encourages questioning, as well as inviting and accepting different points of views, and it thrives on collaboration. The classroom should have trust, open communication, and be willing to take risks, as outlined by Burrell in his book. However, students will not be willing to take risks unless they feel safe to do so. This can be accomplished by teacher modeling the problem solving aloud, their thinking through the process, both the teacher and students generating questions, the teacher having a quality response to students' comments and questions through their tone of voice, and this is in reference to the teacher's tone of voice, their proper attending to the students, and interest in the students' ideas, questioning the students further to elaborate on their thinking, the students, their interactions with each other, so students interacting with each other in a positive way, then being able to, but also feeling comfortable to ask and answer questions from each other and have meaningful discussions amongst each other so that they aren't always responding to only the teacher. Another great aspect of having a classroom environment that encourages and invites inquiry is the reflective journals, which I really like this one because I keep my own reflective journal as a teacher. I make notes of it for the day and just for next year, just things that I know that I want to do differently. But the students, they can have a journal where they are also able to reflect, which is similar to the teacher journal that Burrell discusses in his book. And then the last is developing group inquiry skills. Burrell gives examples such as researching, critical thinking about information, building on peer ideas, and so on. What are opportunities for problem-based learning in your classroom, curriculum, and school? Well, I teach writing and science, and I think both present a plethora of topics for students to explore and identify problems, especially writing, because I mean, writing is the right. It can go anywhere. We can write about any topic that's appropriate for school. But science would be a little bit more focused on the standards, I guess, to make sure that we're meeting those standards. So a couple of examples, I'm going to focus on examples for science more specifically here. Our water cycle, excuse me, sorry. The various topics that can be addressed in science are the water cycle, erosion, landforms, ecosystems, and energy conservation, just to name a few. Each of these have a variety of problems that can be addressed, all of which go hand in hand with curriculum since I'm able to choose a curriculum, basically. In terms of my school, I had the idea and I thought it would also be really great and awesome for the students if they had a problem that could be extended from grade to grade. So in kindergarten or first grade, whichever it would start, the students would start a problem like, let's just say, the water cycle, and they would focus on some, you know, in San Diego or in California, we had a water drought. So focusing on the problem of a water drought and access to water and conserving water. And each year, the ideas and thinking would become more complex, and they would, well, I think they would have so much more investment into it, especially by the time they got to sixth grade, which is the end of elementary school. They would have more of a sense of ownership. They've spent 6 years on this problem. They've given so much of their time, their thinking, and energy. They have so much knowledge base behind it, to grow with it. And in our school district, students go to certain middle schools, so maybe extending it into the middle school, which goes into my next point with our district. Our district already has specialty schools. They have IB, a performing arts school, a STEAM academy, and having a problem-based learning school would be a great addition. And this might be where my idea for my school and extending from grade to grade could be implemented. So I've actually been thinking about this idea all week long and really not buying into, but really starting to believe very strongly in problem-based learning. And with the resources that we've been reading and just getting excited, how can I present this to our board and at our district level to give them the idea to include this as their next specialty school? I think it would be a great addition. So that is my PowerPoint on problem-based learning, and I am very excited to implement that within this next school year. Thank you.